Well, hey, good evening, everybody. It's 5 minutes after the hour, whichever hour you're in. I'm currently in Eastern time, so it's 7:05 here. I know many of you are in Central time. I see a lot of friends and familiar faces like Tammy Young, Terry Young. How you doing? Dennis Richmond. Dennis, I owe you a call. Larry Troy, I see you there. Susan, Zachary, Rodica, nice to see you. Travis Becker, man, a blast from the past. It's good to see you here again. Really see your name here. I see the boxes. See Robert Bach, Carla, Coach Nick. Coach Nick, you're on tonight. Good to see you. And I see a lot of folks that are new to me as well. So it's good to see everybody. And this is not going to be a long training. And I wanted to do this for both people that are coming to AIMNATCON, which is this weekend in Dallas, Friday evening. We start at the registration, I think, is at 4, and we go from about 5 to 7 Friday night. And then we have some networking, and then we have a full day Saturday and a full day Sunday. And it's going to be me and about 6 or 7 different speakers, all teaching different things. And so I wanted to give those of you that are coming a little preview and get you super excited about the event and prepare you for some of the speakers. And I have some of the speakers are able to pop in tonight. So you'll get to meet some of them and hear from some of them. Some of them you've already met before. And then others, you don't have your ticket. Maybe you're not able to make it, or maybe you're still considering coming. So there'll be something here for you as well. I just want to take a look here to see. I see Vanessa's here. Vanessa Alfaro is one of our speakers. You want to, Sumrok team, you want to put Vanessa on, and Vanessa could say hi. And then in a few minutes, Vanessa, I'll just have you share what you're excited about and what you're going to be speaking about. But if we want to put Vanessa on right now, who else do we have on? Do we have, I think Tom Wheelwright's coming on later. And I think Bill Walsh is going to be coming on. I'm not sure if he's on yet, but there's Vanessa. How you doing?
Hi, how are you, everybody? So happy to be here. How are you, Bradley?
I'm good. I'm glad you got all dressed up for being on tonight. I'm not even in my studio. I'm in my kitchen table, and I don't think I've left my kitchen table since 10 o'clock this morning. And I've literally had nonstop Zooms pretty much all day. I ordered food takeout, but for those of you that don't know, I was just on a 2-week vacation, and I went to Greece and Croatia and literally just got back last night, and I'm still on Croatian time zone, which is 6 hours ahead of me. So last night, Vanessa, I fell asleep at 8 o'clock at night, and I woke up at 4 a.m. So I've been up since 4. Yeah. But I would love for you to say hi to everybody. And then before I have you speak about what you're going to speak about, I'm going to show all the attendees in YouTube, Vanessa, a little video about what's happening right now with a topic near and dear to us in multifamily investing. But tell everybody hi and a little bit about you. And then when I bring you back on in a few minutes, you can talk to them about what you're going to talk about.
I'm super excited to see you, everybody, at the event. I'm super excited about my talk on AI and real estate. I'm going to tell you later. Okay, but my name is Vanessa Alfaro, and I am a syndicator too. I own several companies in the past, and right now I am the founder of Venus Capital Partners, which is a private equity real estate firm that buys multifamily, something that you're going to learn from the best. And also I have another company called Luna X AI, which focus on AI innovations. We're creating products and we're teaching people and helping organizations. So I'm super excited about what I'm going to share. And I pass it to you back.
Yeah, and Vanessa, how long have we known well, how long have you been in the business, and how long have we known each other?
Wow, I have been in the business as an entrepreneur for more than 2 decades. I have founded 6, 7 to 8 figures in 3 different countries. Okay. And one of those businesses is the real estate business, which I have for about 7 years already. We know each other like forever, Bradley, since like, I don't know, 4 years. But for
Oh, we
me,
met in Tony Robbins, right?
yes, but for me, it's a long time because you're a beautiful soul, a beautiful person, and I appreciate you so much. You are now like also a coach for me. You has been helping me so much as well. And I am so excited to be invited to your event, to AIMNATCON. Like, it's so hard for me to pronounce that. You
I
guys can see I
understand.
have a small accent, but it's so hard to pronounce that. But I would practice until I get it right.
Well, one of the reasons that I brought, just for everybody out here, one of the reasons I brought Vanessa in this year is she really have carved out a specialty, not only in multifamily syndication, which many of us are doing and many of us are excelling at, and Vanessa is certainly excelling as a GP and has done many, many deals and transactions. But she also really got into AI and how to use AI and AI tools for different aspects of real estate. So she's going to talk about that in a few minutes. But Vanessa, I'm excited to have you on tonight. I literally just texted you this morning and I was like, hey, I'm doing this Zoom meeting for people that are coming to the conference or on the fence about coming to the conference. And could you pop in? So here you are. Glad to have you. And I'll have you come back in a few minutes and talk about what you're going to talk about.
Yes,
So
please bring me back because I want to share some information here about what I'm going to be talking about.
yeah, and I know you have like 5 kids too, by the way. So I'm going to have you speak first. But what I want to do is, what I'm going to, for everybody to know here, I'm bringing in some really good speakers. And what I'm going to be talking about is it's basic, but it's not basic. And it's really about how you become a millionaire apartment investor. And that's really what I believe we should all have is one of our goals is whether you're an LP or a GP, is how do we make this business $1 million business, whether it's, $1 million passively in pursuit of maybe you're doing other things as well, or maybe it's $1 million a year business where you're doing this as a GP full time. But one way or the other, I'm going to talk about the framework to become a millionaire apartment investor. And I'm going to break down my talk throughout the 2.5 days. And then in between, I'm going to be bringing in different speakers like Vanessa, like Tom, like Mauricio, like Bill Walsh, that are going to add on and supplement everything that I'm talking about so that by the end of the 2.5 days, everybody attending, you're going to have a complete picture of what it'll take and what's going on in the market today with the securities laws, with the taxes, with AI, with the markets, and with the underwriting, and how do we drop what numbers, not only how do we underwrite deals, but what numbers do we put in our underwriting models. So we're going to cover all that and so much more at this event. And I'm just super, super excited. But I wanted to share a video. I was going to just show you some screenshots and try to recap it myself. But my good friend, John Chang, who came to our last AIMNATCON event, like the last 2 or 3 years, was not able to make it to this event, unfortunately, this year, but he literally just put out a video. So John is the senior vice president at Marcus & Millichap. He's a good friend of mine. Marcus & Millichap is the first or second largest commercial real estate firm in the country. And he's their senior VP, and he heads up all the research that they do. So what I want to do, and Vanessa, you probably know John. I've known John for years. And again, he's a good friend. And what I'd love to do is, all right. So I'm going to play this video. Shared sound. Wow. Okay.
You see, I'm glad that I'm here. That happens to me so many times.
Hey, password in to do that. Okay. So I'm doing that now. So you can see my screen. So check this out. This is a 5-minute video. And the topic is John's take on our interest finally going to be going down in September. So we know the next Fed meeting is September 17th, and there was a Fed meeting in July, and they decided not to lower interest rates, but they had 2 dissensions. And so right now, everybody's talking about what's going to happen in September, and then in November, and then in December. And as we all know, interest rates have a big impact on liquidity and debt and capital flowing into the markets, and also on cap rates. And so for the last 18 months, people have been hopeful and optimistic that interest rates would go down, and they haven't really gone down. They've gone down just a tad, but they haven't really gone down much. So I wanted to give you guys a preview of what we could expect between now and the end of the year. So check this out. This is 5 minutes, and then Vanessa, I'll bring you back. So let me know if you could hear the sound here.
Hey everyone. So last week, the July CPI inflation numbers were released, and they were pretty much in line with economists' expectations. Headline inflation remains at 2.7% on a year-over-year basis, while core CPI inflation rose by 20 basis points to 3.1%. Although both of those numbers are still higher than the Federal Reserve would like to see, and they are trending up a bit, they're really not showing a material impact from tariffs yet. The annualized 3-month inflation trend is still landing in the upper 2% range for both headline and core inflation, and looking at the month-over-month movement of specific subcategories, they didn't show any substantial spikes. Now, it's widely believed that an inflation surge is still out there. The chief economist of Goldman Sachs recently said that U.S. consumers have absorbed about 22% of the tariffs through June and will eventually absorb 67% of the tariffs as they come through. He also predicted that core inflation will climb to the mid 3% range. Reinforcing that point on who's paying the tariffs, if you review the corporate earnings reports from the second quarter, many companies cited significant tariff-driven cost increases, and several companies indicated they're going to pass more of the tariff costs through to consumers. But the impact just hasn't shown up in the July inflation data in a material way. One more inflation release will come out before the Fed's next decision on September 17th. But at this point, considering the signs of a weakening employment market that emerged in the last round of jobs numbers, there would likely need to be a substantial inflation movement in the September 11th Consumer Price Index report for the Federal Reserve to hold rates at their current level. So the broad-based assumption at this point is that the Federal Reserve will reduce rates by 25 basis points on September 17th. Currently, Wall Street is placing more than a 90% probability of that cut. In addition, Wall Street is assigning a 71% likelihood of another rate cut on October 29th and a 60% chance of a third cut on December 10th. But again, I want to remind everyone that cuts to the overnight rate do not always translate to declines in the 10-year Treasury rate. We experienced that last year when the Fed rate cut spurred a surge in the 10-year Treasury rate. But for commercial real estate, any signs of downward pressure on interest rates is a positive. The slim margin between the 10-year Treasury and cap rates has slowed investor activity. And even though national average cap rates remain elevated across all property types compared to the market peak in 2022, the spread between the cap rates and the Treasury rates is still pretty narrow. Now, based on the RCA hedonic cap rate metrics, which try to account for variances in the composition of the deal flow, office cap rates are up by 20 basis points in the second quarter from a year earlier, reaching 7.7%. Industrial cap rates are also up by 20 basis points to 6.4%. Retail cap rates held steady from a year earlier at 6.9% nationally, and apartment cap rates were also stable, coming in at 5.7%. We're seeing a little downward pressure on apartment cap rates in a handful of markets, but the momentum is still relatively isolated and marginal. But from what I'm hearing, if interest rates and the cost of debt capital comes down over the next few months, it could unlock additional investment capital and potentially begin to put downward pressure on cap rates. So, looking forward, if investors agree with Wall Street and believe the Fed will cut rates by 25 to 75 basis points in the next few months, and that translates to a lower cost of debt capital, then deal flow could accelerate in the coming months, which suggests that now might be the opportune time to prune portfolios of weaker assets, and investors may want to begin scouring the market for potential acquisition targets. Although these are shorter term trends, we may be entering the transition to the next commercial real estate investment cycle. And getting active now could pay dividends for investors who keep their eyes on the horizon.
So, hey, look, I know I've been talking about this pretty much the whole year of 2025, saying now is the time. And I talk pretty much every time I do a masterclass like this, whether it's just to my mastermind students or to the general public, I'm talking about why I'm excited. Here's 10 reasons why I'm excited. And it occurs to me that maybe some people are getting tired of hearing me saying that. It's almost like, okay, Brad, like, when is this actually going to happen? And the point is, we've all been sort of, I don't want to use the word hope, but there's been a lot of data supporting that it is going to happen. And I think now the data is just getting stronger. To me, what's occurring for me is people were getting used to the Trump style of diplomacy, of big talk, and then how he does the art of the deal and kind of brings things to some sort of stable outcome. It looks like he did it with Israel and Iran, and that was in the news just over a month ago, where people were talking about World War III. And when's the last time we saw anything about Israel and Iran in the news? Maybe there's still something going on, but now it's eclipsed by something else, which was Putin and Zelensky. And whether you love what he's doing or not, it looks like he may be bringing them to the negotiating table. So he's just got a unique style about him. And I think that the way it's translating, I know for me, when he was elected, I was very optimistic that, hey, we have Trump that used to be a former real estate guy that in his first term passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts, who gave us 100% bonus depreciation. And now we know that's back with the big, beautiful bill that they recently passed in July. So we know that the 100% bonus depreciation is back permanently. So that's a good thing. And that's going to stimulate more transactions. I know for me in 2018, I bought a deal that I probably wouldn't have bought if I didn't get the 100% bonus depreciation. So that's happening. But what I can tell you is as soon as interest rates start coming down, there's going to be a lot of not only institutional capital, but individual investors, people like us that have been kind of skittish and sitting on the sidelines. And I know people in my mastermind have been very active on underwriting deals and making offers. And we have some deals under contract, probably more now in the Sumrok community that I've seen in the last, say, 12 to 18 months. So I'm seeing the signs of increased activity. It's still a buyer's market. I can tell you that because I'm a seller right now in a deal, and I'm being beaten up on by a buyer that's far less experienced than me because I just don't have many other options in terms of going to different buyers, where back in 2021 and 2022, I'd have 15 buyers tripping over each other trying to get the deal. And now I have 2. And I don't really want to deal with either of them, but I have a deal, and it's not even a variable rate loan. It's a deal I bought in 2015, and the note's due after a 10-year fixed rate loan, but I got to get out of the deal. So I just want everybody to know that the opportunity right now is not just on these 3-year loans where people need to get out in distress situations, and there's a lot of those, but it's also this. Just imagine that every year somebody is buying a fixed rate loan with a 5, 10, a 5, 7 or 10 or 12 year period. And so in this year, 2025, I had 2 deals that I bought in 2015. And one of them we sold in March. It was in Columbus, Ohio. And we bought it in 2015 and we sold it in March of 2025 because the 10-year note was due. And another one was in Oklahoma City that I bought in 2015, and I'm selling it because the 10-year note is due. So there's always going to be deals where people need to sell, and they're not necessarily distressed. It's just the loan is coming due and we need to get out of the deal. And so we could either repurchase it, recapitalize it, or sell it. And so there's opportunity out there. And the opportunity now is to be in a buyer's market. And I think it's a great time to get in. So Vanessa, I'm going to let you speak. And then I'll let you go because I know you have other things going on tonight, as do I. And I have a hard stop, just for everybody to know, I have a hard stop at the top of the hour because at the top of the hour, I have another Zoom with an investor group that I'm in, where we have a 3-year loan extension. So we're going to be talking about the update on that. And so there's a lot of interesting things happening. And I know, Vanessa, you just got a loan extension on one of your deals too, but we can save that for the conference. But tell us what you're going to be talking about specifically with AI, because I believe you're the first speaker I ever had come in to any of my events that are going to specifically talk about AI in real estate. So I'm really excited about that.
Yes, I'm so excited too, because I think that I agree with you 100%, Bradley. I do believe this is the right time to buy real estate. And you guys hear this all the time. This is the right time. When is the right time to buy real estate? Now. But in reality, if you see what is happening in the market, he's so right. I am also selling deals that I have to sell for way less. There is a lot of blood on the street, and it's actually a buyer's market right now. For people that us, we can see it like it hasn't happened in several years. And what is more interesting for me and what makes me more excited is about AI. Why? And why you guys should care about AI? You should. No, nobody cares about AI. Nobody. But you know what you should care is about what AI can do for you when you're buying real estate. Why is AI so important? It's because now you can do with AI, you can do more, you can do better, you can do faster, you can do with less people. You can do the same things that you were doing in 8 hours, probably in 2 hours. Oh my gosh, that's leverage. Think about that, everything that you can do in your business. So what I'm going to be sharing with you is very simple ways, tools that you can use AI. What is more exciting for me is that if you want to talk about things that are more complicated, like vibe coding and NA10, agents, I will be there the 2 days. So just come back to me and we can talk all the whole way about complicated things, but I'm not going to make it complicated. I want to make it super easy so everybody can live that 45 minutes that I'm going to be speaking with some tools that you can actually use either to find deals faster or to underwrite deals faster or to just have better productivity or answer emails or whatever you need. I'm going to give you some tips that you can implement day one at that moment with AI that can actually leverage yourself, your business, your employees, everybody. So I'm super excited about that because he can help every entrepreneur so much right now. And what it used to take me decades to do and to build, I had a company with 2,500 employees. And in that company, I can do the same right now for 50 people only instead of 2,500. So think about that. Think about the potential. Now, I know you're going to have great speakers, Bradley. You're going to have great speakers. And I think AI is something very important. And you're going to talk about the market. And all this information is going to be so helpful for you so you can make good decisions, informed decisions on what you're going to do in your real estate. But Bradley says something really important. You said you're going to teach everybody how to be a millionaire. Is that what you said, Bradley?
Well, I'm going to look. I did what I believe I said is I'm going to teach a framework to become a millionaire apartment investor, but you got to follow the steps and
You have to follow the steps.
actually have to be in action.
Okay.
I love saying that, Vanessa, because there's so many people out there that tell you, come to my event, you're going to be a millionaire. It's like, no, you're not going to be anything if you don't implement the steps, you know?
Okay, can I give you, this is a very quick story because Bradley is right. I have 5 kids that can probably start jumping into my office at any time, screaming at me. But I'm going to share this story really quick. It's a story that I love and is the secret to be a millionaire. Can I share that?
Yeah.
It's a very interesting story. And I read this story, okay? And it's a story about a man named W. Clement Stone. Do you know who W. Clement Stone is, Bradley?
I'm
No?
not sure I do.
Okay. He was a BFF of Napoleon Hills. And he was a multi-millionaire. He gave more than $260 million away to charity. He was an amazing man. And he attributed his self-made wealth to saying one phrase and one phrase only over and over and over every day. He would say this phrase 100 times a day. And the phrase was, do it now. This guy lived in a high-rise apartment building in New York, and he would make himself say this phrase 100 times before the elevator hits the floor that he was going. And W. Clement Stone believed in this so badly that he will ask his employees to say this phrase 100 times a day. So if you work for W. Clement Stone, you will have to say, do not, at least 100 times, because W. Clement Stone believed and he understood that the number one enemy of wealth is not mindset, it's actually delay. And I want to leave you with that because Napoleon Hill used to say, successful people make decisions quickly and change them very slowly, and unsuccessful people make decisions very slowly and change them often and quickly. Okay? Because this is all about do it now. If you have all the information that you're learning from you, okay, do it now. It's about massive action. So what I'm going to teach you at that 45 minutes, I want you to implement it now. And what you're going to learn, okay, you have to implement it now. This is the number one secret of successful people. People ask me all the time, what is your secret of having 6 business, 3 different countries, several multi-million-dollar exits? I just do it. I just do it now. And when Bradley texts me this morning, I said yes, because I just do it now. So I just want to leave you with that. Okay? Brad, for everybody that is thinking, just doubting if what are you going to do, what's going to happen with the market, I think this is the best time ever to put in action this plan. And remember, do it now.
I love it. Thank you, Vanessa. Thanks for coming on at a last minute notice. I'll see you in Dallas. And
see you guys in Dallas. Is everybody here registered, Bradley?
So not yet. So okay. It looks like I think we have some people that haven't yet. So Sumrok team, if you put the link in the chat.
Do it now. Do it now, guys. What are you thinking about it? I'm going to see you.
Look, I didn't say tonight I was going to teach some new topic on how to underwrite a deal. I said this event is for people that are coming to the event that want to get a sneak preview of what's going on. But my team told me like half of the people that registered don't have a ticket yet. So I know there's still people on the fence. So Vanessa had a very powerful message, do it now. And I used to I still use it all the time. I would always say, let's go now. For those of you that have been in my community for years, I'd say, let's go now.
So, well, not from me, it's from W. Clement Stone. And he was a multimillionaire. I'm just reading a story, right? And I love that because you and I, we that has been in multiple companies, we know that massive action is procrastination is the assassination of your destination. That's not mine either. It's someone else, but I love it. Procrastination is the assassination of your destination. I have it in front of my screen here, okay, with a Post-it, and I see it all the time because sometimes the biggest losses that we have is opportunities that we miss. Okay? So right now is AI, okay? And you have AI at your fingertips, and you can do so much more with AI that you couldn't do 36 months ago. 36. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me there. I have to go, okay? But see you guys in Dallas. Please come talk to me, ask me questions about AI. I'll be super happy to talk to everybody. Thank you so much, Bradley.
Thank you, Vanessa. All right, good night, Vanessa. Hey, everyone else, stay on. I have a few more folks that I want to hear. But yeah, Sumrok team, if you could put that link in, and I love what Vanessa said about do it now, because some of you are waiting and like the events this weekend. So look, we're still offering $100 off. The link will bring you to a page where it says the general admission is $197 and the platinum is $397. But when you go through the registration, it'll automatically cut $100 off of either of those ticket levels. So when you're going through the process before you check out, the $197 will automatically change to $97. And the $397 will change to $297. So that's the first thing. The second thing is for those of you, well, if you don't have a ticket yet, and you're going to get a ticket, I want to encourage you to get a platinum ticket. Okay, it's $200 more, and you get 3 benefits that can move the needle for you in having a platinum ticket. And one is you just get a better seat. You're going to be in the front half of the room as opposed to the back half. So for me, I always like to be toward the front because I'm just more engaged. I'm less prone to distractions. I'm less prone to be looking around the room. I'm more prone to be paying attention to what's going on, to whoever's speaking. In fact, when I was in the Tony Robbins community, I invested double in the platinum membership. I paid double to be a platinum Lion. And one of the main reasons was that the Lions had reserved seat in the front row. And that mattered to me, not from an ego perspective. It wasn't like, oh, look at me, I could afford to be in the front row. It mattered to me because, like many of you, I actually have a little bit of ADD. You know, I don't like sitting still. Those that are close to me, they know this about me. And I got to be really focused. And so I put myself in a position so that I'm forced to pay attention, so that it's easier for me to pay attention. And how to do that is for me to have the best seat that money could buy. So the best seats that your money could buy is the platinum seat. We can't guarantee first row, but we can guarantee you're going to be in the front half of the seating area. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is on Saturday, we have a lunch, special lunch just for the platinums. So what that means is you get not only better food, but it's going to be in a room with me and with my team and with the speakers that are there on Saturday. So you're going to get more time, more content, and more time to ask questions and get your questions answered on Saturday. And then in the mornings on Saturday and Sunday, we actually have what we call our Platinum Lounge, which you will have access to a private area with coffee and with light breakfast items. You'll be able to come in and have some coffee and network with the other platinum members. And that's also the fourth benefit, is you're going to already be self-selecting yourself to be around the other people that also invested a little bit more money into the platinum ticket. And so my other message, if you already have a ticket and you're a general admission, I want to invite you to consider upgrading for a mere $200. And again, you'll get those benefits of the Platinum Lounge, better seating, the Platinum Lunch, and being around other people that made the same decision you did to up-level their experience. And what you'll find is everyone at the event is going to be a quality individual, but you'll just find that what I find is when I go to events, when I fly first class. When I'm in the Tony Robbins community, I always move to the front of the room and invest in that. And I just find that the connections that I make are just with people that have the same mindset as me, where we like to invest in our experiences. And I'm not saying we're better people, we're just all people that are like-minded that want to have a better experience. And oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes we have more money and we're more accredited investors or whatever. So you're just going to find a higher quality experience by being in the platinum section. So if you want to upgrade to platinum, which I encourage, there's a link that my team put in here. And also, if you don't have your ticket yet, please get one or the other, general admission or platinum, whichever one aligns with you the best. And I want to bring on another speaker now, who I also just texted this morning. And I said, Tom, could you pop in and just say hi to everybody? Because a lot of people in my community already know you. You've been at virtually all my events since 2016. And yet there's still new people on tonight that have never met me and have never met you. And so
there's anybody who hadn't met you.
No, I didn't know there was anybody that haven't met you. But maybe they haven't met you, but they probably all read your books. But for those that don't know Tom Wheelwright, he is probably the best known celebrity. And the term celebrity and tax professional don't always go together, but Tom is a celebrity tax professional. He's very well known for his association with Robert Kiyosaki and writing all the tax books under the blue, the purple and gold color for the Rich Dad book series. And he's a good friend of Robert Kiyosaki. He's also been my CPA since 2017, and it's probably saved me at least a couple million in taxes, over the years, or maybe each year. But Tom, you're going to be there at the event this weekend. And we all know about the big, beautiful bill. And I think by now everybody knows about the bonus depreciation being back 100%. And I'm going to talk about that. And I know you will. But I know you're going to talk about some other things that are going on too that can impact all of us, whether we're multifamily investors or syndicators or just business owners and entrepreneurs, which the majority of the people in the room, they're not only doing multifamily and syndications, but many people, Tom, have other businesses or other asset classes they're investing in. So give us a little teaser about some of the things you're going to talk about this weekend.
Well, first of all, let me say that you'll save way more than the $397 in taxes just in the 45 minutes I'm speaking. This one big, beautiful bill has a lot of really cool things in it, things that you probably haven't heard of. There are some changes to opportunity zones. There are other changes in the bill besides the bonus depreciation, which some of you may not be familiar with bonus depreciation. So we'll make sure you're familiar with that, because the reality is, if you're a serious investor, my question is, why are you paying taxes? And I'm not suggesting you should not pay tax that you owe. I'm saying you shouldn't owe taxes. Okay. And I'm saying that really, once you become a very serious investor, there's kind of like years ago when we saw President Trump's tax returns somebody released. He didn't pay any taxes. Well, why not? Because he's a serious investor and he invests the way the government wants him to. So that's how the tax law works. So I'm just going to explain to you how the tax law works so that you can use it every day to either reduce your taxes, eliminate your taxes, depending on how far you want to go. But the reality is that you will, if you're paying taxes now, you should save way more. I mean, you ought to be able to save $5,000, $10,000. You should save way more than the price of your ticket, your hotel, and the platinum ticket to the event, your airline ticket plus the platinum ticket to the event. There's so much good stuff in this bill that once you understand how it actually works, you'll be off and running in no time. And I'm always looking forward. I meet such great people. Brad, you were talking about what great people you have at the event. One of my best employees, I met her parents at your event. And she's one of my very best young CPAs. And in fact, she had her baby today.
Right.
Her second child today. But she is one of the best young CPAs I've ever had on my team. And that was somebody at your event. So you just never know who you're going to meet. You never know what opportunities are going to arise. But these are events, you just can't afford to miss them.
Yeah. And here's what I like to say too, Tom, about that. I understand that there's a lot of events out there, and to come to an event, it's not just the price of the ticket. It's being away from home. It's getting on an airplane. It's staying in a hotel for most of the people that are not living in Dallas, which I'm not living in Dallas anymore either. So I get it. But I treat this event as if it's like a $3,000 event, not a $300 event or a $100 event. And so I promise you guys, you're going to get easily at least $3,000 in value. And if you don't, I'll just tell you, I'll give you your money back, because I know Tom's session alone is going to give you $3,000 in value. And then we have Vanessa, and then we have Bill Walsh, I'm going to bring him on right now after Tom. And Bill's session alone as a global business expert is going to be worth more than $3,000. And I know everything I'm going to teach you is going to be worth more than that. So I just want you to know that I take your investment in coming to Dallas, or if you're living in Dallas, clearing your schedule and being there Friday evening, all day Saturday and all day Sunday. I take your investment of time very seriously. And that's why I've hand selected the speakers that I did, Tom, that are committed to bringing you huge value. So we don't just look at the ticket price, we look at the commitment you've made to be in the room. And I know, Tom, you take that seriously, as do I.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is, so I'm used to billing rates, right? And I'm going, if there's 1,000 people in the room and I multiply that by, a billing rate of say $400 an hour, which you ought to be able to bill at least that. To me, I better deliver $400,000 worth of value. That's truly how I look at it. So it better be it better be that much value to every one of you. And I do take it very seriously. I think there are professionals who are good at their job, and they're professional speakers. What Brad does a good job of is bringing people who are both professionals who are great at their job and professional speakers. And it's that combination that makes it, first of all, enjoyable, because I think nothing worse in the world than a boring seminar. I mean, literally, I've left at the first half of the first day from a conference I remember one in Boston. It was a 2-day event. I left at noon. It was so boring. I couldn't handle it. So it's important to have great speakers. It's important to be engaged. And, and yes, there are great people. And I will tell you that, Brad, you always bring on a stellar group of speakers and a stellar group of attendees. I mean, the participants are just as important, I think, as the speakers.
Well, thank you, Tom. Thanks for coming on tonight at last minute notice. And I look forward to seeing
Thanks,
you
Brad.
Saturday.
Look forward to seeing everybody in Dallas.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Hey, Bill, are you still there? I didn't see you on before. Is Bill Walsh still on Sumrok team?
I'm here. I'll come back. Give me like 60 seconds.
Okay. Hey, but while I'm getting Bill back on, I see a couple questions. Somebody asked in the chat, how can I change my ticket to platinum? And do we get to bring a free guest? Does that guest also get platinum? So yeah, look, if you get a ticket, I'm giving you a free one, and your free ticket's going to be the same level as your ticket. So that's how it works. And if you want to upgrade from general admission to platinum, Sumrok team, put that in the chat box again. There's a link that we just put in there. I think, what's your name? Renzo, you had asked that question. So it's in there that we just put in. Hey, Bill, did you hear me, Bill?
Loud and clear, brother. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Hey, sorry, I didn't see you on, but
That's okay.
here, and most of these folks are going to be in Dallas this weekend, and you're coming in.
Well, it was really great to listen. Of course, anytime you can learn from Tom Wheelwright, it's money well spent. And what Vanessa talked about was on the money, that we pitch a whole idea called Let's Go. I put it on T-shirts, we put it on hats, and then we always use what's called LFG, which means let's freaking go. And I think that what happens for most people is what kills most entrepreneurs is called paralysis of analysis. Just write that down, paralysis of analysis. They spend too much time thinking about something they never wind up doing. If you guys could pick up one book, pick up a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind was written by a guy named T. Harv Eker, and it stands for The Harv Eker. And what he'll always tell you is that you always go VIP. If you're coming to this event, I don't care what you're doing, go platinum, because if you don't go VIP, you're telling the universe your general admission. I know if you're on this broadcast and you're part of Brad's network and you're serious about growing your business, leaders, and I mean brilliant leaders, the best deals ever, they're always done at live events. So you got to show up for your own success story. You got to tell yourself today that I belong in the right room. I belong at the Platinum Lounge. I belong in the seats in the front row. And you want to go to the luncheons early and you want to network, because you might think you're coming for the speakers. Let me tell you what, one relationship from that room can change everything. The speakers might be the draw. I want to learn from Bill. I want to learn from Tom. I'm telling you, get to know the people in the room. If you're serious about being in the real estate business, I have a client just the last 8 months. We spent $90 million buying real estate. So I'm telling you that if people are telling you, oh, it's bad, it's this, it's that, greatest investment long-term in this country has always been real estate. And Brad and his team have this thing down to a science. So I'm going to share with you tips on launch, grow, build 7, 8, 9-figure companies. I'm going to talk to you about how to maximize big partnerships, how to build really big lists, how to start to understand that you can now begin to raise money through webinars. There are so many new things that are happening. And if you're not tuned in, write this down, you're tuned out. One of the tips today, go online right now tonight and go to this website called GoDaddy and buy your name, AI.com, or buy your name.ai. Because I promise you today, within 2 to 3 years, almost all business transacted after 5 o'clock with most companies will be done through an AI system. And if you don't buy your name AI or nameai.com, someone's going to buy it and sell it to you later. So there's just so much stuff we'll share with you. New tools, new tips, new systems, new ideas, how to build mega power partnerships, how to really understand how to raise money, generate capital by doing webinars and telesummits. If you guys were there last year when I spoke, I gave away a lot of great tools. I'll give away some more. We'll do some Q&A at the end. I mean, I was very honored to coach guys like Bobby Kennedy and help with some of the folks that are inside the inner circles. We have a corporate G550. We had, Tulsi Gabbard, 3 days before the election, flying city to city. So I'm telling you that if you just write down these few words, power of proximity, power of proximity, and you've got to know you belong in every room. And that's why you always go VIP. Don't ever, ever, ever believe that you don't belong in the room. And if you're afraid to have the conversations, I'll share with you tips how to have conversations with millionaires and billionaires that open doors every day for us. So don't be afraid and just show up early every day. Go to bed late. Come prepared. But come there to meet new people. Don't come there to sling out business cards and do what's called spray and pray. Figure out how to invest in the relationship. If you really want to make some money, then go do some transactions. If you want to become wealthy, go invest in relationships. Hey, brother, I got to run, man. I can't wait to see you those weekend. I'm super excited. I'm coming in for the whole weekend.
Thanks, Bill. I'm excited to see you.
Anything else you want me to cover?
Nope, I think you did great. And I know
All
you're
right, buddy.
I know you're gonna knock it out of the park over the weekend.
Yeah, I love your group, love your family, love you, buddy. I'll see you soon. Everybody have a great night. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Yeah. Hey, folks, that's just a preview of some of the speakers that we're gonna have. So there's gonna be more, but I think that's a good preview, and I'm running out of time because I got another Zoom in 6 minutes with an investor group for a deal that I'm in. But yeah, so hey, I want to ask you, Jay, do you want to put the poll up, or Ivy, do you have the poll? So there's a poll here. And oh, okay. So what this is going to be is I want you to rate each of these speakers on how excited you are to hear from these speakers. And the first one is me. So go ahead and rank that on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, I won't look. Because some of you might be, oh, shoot, Brad's looking. I don't want to give him a 1 or a 2. Okay, I'm going to cheat. I want to see how many 10s I have. Okay, I have a lot of 10s here. I do have a 5. That's okay. I know maybe I'm not a 10 for everybody. I'm still happy you're coming. You're probably more excited about some of the other speakers, and that's why I'm bringing in some of the other speakers. So I'm okay with me not being everybody's favorite speaker, although oh my God, it looks like a lot of you are really excited about seeing me, but I'm not really looking. So I'm covering the poll on my screen here. So how does it work, Ivy? Let's go to the next speaker here. Let's go to the next one.
Yep, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see people are responding for each speaker.
Oh, I didn't see that. I only saw me. I thought it was going to go each one. So we got Brad Sumrok. We got Robert Helms. We got Tom Wheelwright. We got Vina Jetty. Vina wasn't able to make it tonight. We got Vanessa Alfaro. She was on tonight. We got Mauricio, who's going to talk about SEC laws and raising capital and doing it legally. And we got Bill Walsh, who we just heard from tonight. And so I would love for you to go ahead and put your responses in there. We'll use this to do a preliminary poll on who you're most excited to see and learn from. So we could go ahead and leave that up for a few more minutes. We have 45% of you participating. I'd love to get a little bit more participation here. And yeah, but hey, look, this is going to be a great event. And I'll be authentic with you and real. This is not going to be the biggest AIMNATCON we've had. We've had AIMNATCONs with 500, 600, 700, 800 people. And this is probably going to be one of the smaller ones we've had. And I think part of the reason is that most people were scared. You know, there's a lot of people that got into multifamily in 2021 and 2022, and then the market shifted. So some of these people have said, hey, some of my deals didn't go as well. I'm looking for other things. And while I get that, I've been doing this for 23 years. And what I want to share with you is for about 18 out of 23 years, multifamily's been really good. And I believe it's about to get good again. And I know I've been saying that all year, and I'm not sure I'm going to be right, but I believe that I am because the data shows it. And that's why I wanted to show you the John Chang video. And there's only so many years that we could be stuck kind of in the bottom of the cycle. And we saw cap rates for offices going up, cap rates for industrial went up, the cap rates for apartments stayed flat. Okay. And so what that means is year over year, over the last 12 months, cap rates for apartments have not gone up. And we saw that in John Chang's presentation. I wanted to bring that up and make sure you caught that. How many other people caught that besides me? The cap rates for multifamily have not gone up. So what that means is as soon as interest rates are going to be cut, the cap rates for multifamily are going to start coming back down, which means prices are going to start going up. And it's not going to turn into a seller's market right away, but we're probably in the best buyer's market that I've seen since 2012 or 2013. And it's going to be that way for a little while, but it's not going to be that way forever. And so, you know, in 2020, 2021, 2022, people complained that the prices were too high and there was too much competition. So they were waiting. And now some of those same people are waiting again. They're waiting for interest rates to go down. They're waiting for things to be more certain, the markets. They're waiting for, you know, not just interest rates to come down, but they're waiting for maybe some of the economic policies and tariffs and inflation, and they're waiting to see what happens. But the people that have built the most wealth, okay, and this is not just me making this up. I was in the Tony Robbins Platinum community for 6 years, where he would bring in billionaires. And some of the biggest and best companies with the highest valuations, companies like Netflix and Uber, for example, were started in 2008, and people thought they were crazy. And I remember I was buying deals in 2012 for $13,000 a door, and people thought I was crazy. You know, investors didn't want to invest and lenders didn't want to lend on these assets. So back in 2012, the only way we bought these properties is with all cash. We were buying 200 unit deals at $13,000 a door. We couldn't even get loans on them, but we made tons of money. And I'm not saying we're doing that right now, but I'm saying there's a lot of people on the sidelines. So for those that are coming, I want you to know there's just going to be a very intimate event. And why that matters more for you is you're going to have more time with me, more time with the speakers, more intimacy, more of your questions will get answered, as opposed to like a 700 people event when I would pay to have celebrity speakers like Jesse Itzler and Ed Milet and all these guys. And these are great people and they had a great value. But what I'm here to tell you now is none of my speakers are paid. And we're going to get down to the brass tactics, and it's going to be very tactical. And you're going to walk away with not just tips, you're going to walk away with actionable strategies and tactics from me and all the other speakers. So I'm treating this as a $3,000 event for you, not a $300 or a $100 event. So we're going to make sure you get tons of value. It's the top of the hour. I got an investor call. I got to run. I hope to see you in Dallas, Texas this weekend, Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday. My team will send you all the details. If you have any questions, email support@bradsumrock.com about the event, about the pricing, about anything you want to ask that you didn't see in the chat box. Email support@bradsumrock.com, and I'll see you this weekend. Good night.